Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a new edition of the Daily Debate. In tonight's show, we're going to be talking about the expansion of the Suez Canal project. Everyone is waiting for the inauguration after 1 year of digging and dredging, and prior, actually, surprisingly, to many critics who were quite skeptical about the project 10 days prior to the official inauguration of the expansion of the new Suez Canal, three container ships have made it across the waterway of the new 35-kilometer strip of the Suez Canal. We're going to be talking about the inauguration, we're going to be talking about the expansion, we're going to be talking about the projects and the cities also affected by the new project. But before we do that, let's check out some of the main stories making the headlines over the past couple of days. First off, President Sisi attended on Monday the graduation ceremony of the 82nd batch of the Air Force Academy. Present at the ceremony were Minister of Defense Sidi Sobhi, Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces Mahmoud Higazi, Commander of the Egyptian Air Force Yunus al-Masri, alongside the Egyptian Armed Force commanders. The three Rafale fighter jets bought from France, along with 250 warplanes, participated in an air show during the ceremony. Egypt's flags were seen placed on the warplanes during the show. Also, the Egyptian Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry met on Monday with the families of the 100 detained fishermen in Sudan. Shoukry said that the Egyptian authorities are following the situation closely with the Sudanese authorities in order to ensure their release. Egyptian Foreign Minister spokesman Badr Abdulati said that the Foreign Ministry was working in collaboration with the Minister of Insurance and Social Affairs in order to distribute urgent aid for family members of the detained fishermen. On Thursday, the fishermen were expected to be released. However, on Friday, Egypt's Foreign Ministry stated that the Sudanese authorities had backtracked on their decision a day earlier to release the fishermen who were detained for a territorial breach. Also, Foreign Ministry spokesman Badr Abdulati said in a statement on Monday that Cairo will host the U.S.-Egyptian strategic dialogue on August the 2nd. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry and his U.S. counterpart John Kerry will attend the meetings of the dialogue, originally scheduled to convene on the 27th and 28th of July, but was postponed due to some changes in Kerry's foreign agenda. Shoukry said that the strategic dialogue between Egypt and the United States represents an opportunity to consolidate the bilateral relations and reflects the strength and importance of the continuing partnership between the two countries. The Central Auditing Organization said in a report that the number of incoming tourists to Egypt in May 2015 reached 894,600 compared to 768,200 in May of 2014, indicating a 16.5% increase in the number of tourists over the same period last year. According to the report, Eastern European tourists were the largest group of visitors in May 2015 at 43.9% of the total number of tourists, followed by Western European tourists at 30.7%, Middle Easters at 13.4%, the tourists from Africa, Asia and the US equaling 12%. The number of outgoing tourists in May 2015 equaled 888,100 people compared to 776,500 in 2014 at an increase of 14.4%. And these were all the main top stories we have for now. Now let's check out this report regarding the three container ships that test drove the waterway, the expansion of the Suez Canal. This came as Egypt had marked on Sunday the 59th anniversary of the Suez Canal nationalization, where then President Gamal Abdel Nasser announced that the International Suez Canal Company would become associate, thus ending the colonialist hegemony over Egypt's main tap of foreign currencies. Let's check out this report and we'll be right back with our distinguished guests.
The first experimental operation of the passage of a vessel at the new Suez Canal took place Saturday in the presence of the head of the Suez Canal Authority, Moheb Mamish, and a host of senior officials at the authority. 3 different size container ships participated in the experimental operation, coming from Jeddah and hoisting the Singaporean flag. The first container ship with net tonnage of 133,000 tons heading for Port Said under the leadership of Mamish. Director of the Dredging Department of the Suez Canal Authority, Ahmed Abdelaziz, Engineering Management Director, Manal Muharram, and the CEO of the new Suez Canal's dredging works, Wagdi Zaki. The second ship, coming from Singapore and laden with 95,000 tons, will head for the U.S. The third ship, heading for Italy, is Bahraini, coming from Jeddah. It is laden with 77,000 tons. Mamish said that the 3 big vessels crossed the new canal with the aim of examining its depth and no guide zone along the waterway. Mamish he insisted to implement the test transit in the new canal in parallel with the ordinary daily operation on the old waterway to prove that the canal runs on the 2 directions. Further test transits will be conducted during the coming days. In the press conference at the authority's building of maritime simulation, Mamish stressed that the successful experiment proves to be the ability of the Egyptians to implement the mega projects. He said the success of the first experimental operation of the new Suez Canal is considered a success for Egypt, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the Egyptian people, and the marchers as well. Mamish described the experimental operation as sensitive, praising the role of the canal's guide played in guiding the first flotilla successfully transited in the new waterway earlier on Saturday. Mamish hailed the role of the armed forces in implementing the projects, as well as securing the canal's waterway. The chairman of the Suez Canal Authority expressed thanks to the people for funding the mega projects, pointing out that all Egyptians worked as one to finalize this mega project.
يا حر ابن حر بعد التحية والسلام
إن شاء الله زي دلوقتي لو كان لي عمر أنا وإن شاء الله نصيب لهم العمر نيجي ونفتتح المرحلة ديت ونعبر في القناة الجديدة 35 كيلو.
كمل مشوارك السكة لسه في أول.
إحنا بنسابق الزمن.
بس يا رب وربنا على خير. لو شلتها ما انا عارفك قدها وحدودها تشيلها ما انت من البلد اللي تملي بتجيب رجاله كمل مشوارك السكه لسه في اولها.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and now we're joined here in the studio to shed more light on this issue by Dr. Ala al-Shazli, the Professor of Economics at Cairo University. We're also joined by Engineer محمد Yunus, the member of Egyptian Industries Federation. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Engineer Yunus, first of all, how do you assess or evaluate the experimental operation of actually the passage of the 3 container ships through the new Suez Canal. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I was there, and it is one of my dream to be there and attending the day, because it was a big challenge for all of the Egyptians to make sure that what we have declared, what our president have declared and decided to go for this project, we are going to achieve the results. And the results was excellent, and most of the Egyptian there, let me say Egyptian there, we were all tearing. Because yes.
Well, did you expect that it would be as developed to the stage where we're at right now? Did it meet the expectations that you had? Were you expecting a bit less? Were you expecting a bit more?
Let me say that all the people working at Suez Canal Authority, headed by Mr. Mohammed Mish, they're working exactly like clock. Okay, no any delay. Sometimes they are doing forward. They are doing a very great job, very excellent job. I think most of the achievements in the Suez Canal started from last year. I think reflected or recorded by Yunus as a very excellent job.
Dr. Shazli, now, how do you respond to the skeptics who are really not necessarily undermining, really doubting that we would finish this first stage of the expansion of the Suez Canal in 1 year? What do you think of their skepticism? Do they have the right to be skeptical? Do they not have the right? Are they proven wrong or not?
Well, in any investment project, you'll find pros and cons, and people rallying behind it. Some others have different views. This we can expect in general, not specifically for this large project. This you can see and you can expect as a debatable issue. Should we do it now? Should we do it later? Should we expand on it? Should we take it in stages? Should we have full-fledged effort on it all at once for 1 year and finish it up? All this are subject to different views, point of views from both the people in general and from the specialists. This we can expect, but as long as it is to more or less to a limited scale, then we at the end of the day, we see the project happening,
yes.
Taking place on the ground. We have seen the successful experimental operation of the enlargement of the canal. All these are sending very positive signs to the people in Egypt and to the whole world that Egypt is committed to improve its economic structure, its economic system, its helping with the international trade through the Suez Canal project, that it's part of the world economy, that it can play an effective role in the enhancement of international trade and so on. So it has both local and international good positive signs sent to the people of Egypt and to the rest of the world.
Yes. Engineer Yunus, being a member of the Egyptian Industries Federation, now the completion of this first stage of the expansion, how does it reflect on the Egyptian workers, on the other industries here in Egypt? Does it inspire? Does it have any sort of effect, especially this project? Do you feel that other industries would be much more motivated to jump on the wagon and join in somehow in this project?
Of course, this project is not only doubling or increasing the capacity of the going through the Suez Canal or the number of ships passing through the Suez Canal, but it's also the, the projects and the new cities and the industrial zones which is going to be established around the whole area. There are a lot of commitments from others. I remember that it was an initial agreement between President Sisi and Mr. Putin to have the Russian industrial zone. There is another preparation for the technology valley. A lot of industries are going to be there. More is also are also the fishing projects, other like logistical projects, which is also most of the years we are using Suez Canal just as a toll station. We are just collecting fees.
Yes.
But now we are going to use Suez Canal to establish a lot of projects around Suez Canal. This is most important.
Yes. Dr. Shazli, now a lot of the skeptics as well were also talking about the project as a whole, as an idea. It is definitely a project that will cost billions of dollars. And after 2 revolutions, the country is already trying to regroup itself economically and strengthen itself economically. And to actually embark on such a huge, costly project right away didn't seem very appealing to a lot of people, and they were saying, well, we could use this money to other fundamental, basic projects, and then we can still do the project later on when we are in a better place economically. And keeping in mind that the Suez Canal already generates a lot of money as is without the expansion. Do you feel that having this project, the expansion, right away after 2 revolutions, the first mega project, was the right step to take, or what sort of view do you have?
I think it is sensible to start with a mega project after the events that took place in Egypt, with new hopes for political, social, and economic change to a better future. And so you had to start with something that the people can feel, that you can gather the population behind it or around it for successful completion of this mega project. We have just started with the first part of it, which is the enlargement of the canal itself. And we had to commit capital anyway. So there is no investment without committing capital, of course. So we had to set priorities. This capital that we have in hand, where should we put it? In project 1 or project 2 or other projects and so on. There was general consensus from the political leadership and from the people in Egypt that this is a good project to start with. And that was evident when the government called for raising capital to this project from the savings of the people in Egypt here. And 64 billion Egyptian pounds were raised in about 8 days.
Yes.
So that was a sign that people were accepting and ready to commit capital to this project. In addition, of course, to the capital committed from the government itself in importing the capital goods for the investment of the enlargement of the canal. All this looks like a sensible mega project to start with, where both the government and the people are agreeing on such mega project to start with after the political events that took place in Egypt since 2011. So to me, we had to start anyway, and the government and the political leadership had to start, and it was seen this as a good starting point. Of course, we are expecting And the political leadership mentioned that in more than one event, that there will be other projects down the road.
Yes.
This is just the start of it. And the nice thing about this project, it is serving not only the economy of Egypt, but the world economy. So here, like, we are hitting two birds with one stone.
Yes.
Sending positive signals to different key players domestically and internationally that Egypt is coming back to the investment map, and it can play an effective role in it, and it can provide different investors with different projects where they can come and invest and enjoy the profit from these projects. As we said, there will be industrial zones built around the canal area, agricultural projects, fishery, services center, road network,
Yes.
a new road that will connect the Sinai with the valley. So if you look at it as a whole, we had to start, and this looked very sensible, and
Yes.
it was at the top of the agenda for the government.
Well, Doctor,
And
yes.
acceptable.
Well, should we expect the expansion of the Suez Canal to actually start operating immediately and generating revenues immediately, even before the second and the third phases of the whole project, finalizing and building the ports, the harbors, the industrial zone? Should we already expect we would start the navigation within this 35 kilometers?
Yes, we can't expect the full return of the of investment on investment of this project. However, at least we'll start with increasing the dues, Suez Canal dues, or the receipts that will help improve the balance of payments for Egypt. This we can expect in the first phase, but the fuller development of activities around this project will further improve the services and receipts from goods and services, and we can expect an improvement in the balance of payment in Egypt, which is one of the major problems facing the Egyptian economy, or has been facing it for a long time. So you are solving it by creating practical solutions out of chronic problems in the form of balance of payment deficits, or there's also, we have other problems with the budget deficit and so on. All of this will increase the government revenues also, and will help both on the public finance front and on the balance of payments front.
Yes. Engineer Yunus, now also part of the whole project was actually the digging of 6 tunnels, 3 in Ismailia and 3 in Bosaid. How will this affect the industries, the Egyptian industries, and the trade activities within the country? And do you feel that it will actually help end the isolation of the Sinai Peninsula to the rest of Egypt and the Delta area?
First, let me say that this is one of the most iconic projects in the recent Egypt history after the High Dam. Second, it reflects it's a big symbol of the Egyptian will. Okay. We decided we collect the money in around 8 days.
8 days, yeah.
64 billion, and then it is 1 year. It's a big challenge. 1 year.
Yes.
And most of the people are saying, okay, it's 3 years. So, having those 3 tunnels or 6 tunnels between Sinai and the valley is also I think from my point of view is one of the issues going to use it to fight the terrorism, because Sinai is nearly empty. Okay, when we start the Suez Canal on the 1869, it was only Suez city. So now we have Port Said, we have Ismailia, and we are expecting also new Ismailia with the new industrial zones, and we are going to have also a lot of projects between Sinai. Sinai is very rich. It's very rich. Sinai is very rich, and we have to use everything in Sinai in order to be reflected on the our economy. There is this kind of connections. Imagine that you have now by one tunnel and one bridge is you have one car or two cars. Now you have more than 8 cars on the same minute.
Yes.
Okay. So this one of the issue, which is going to help also the army to attack and fight the terrorism and on the area. Initiating or establishing societies around Suez Canal and industrial area, I think also this will collect a lot of employee, giving a lot of working chances to others whom they are looking for, and this also is going to affect the war, our war against against terrorism. I think it's a iconic project, and I'm very happy as an Egyptian to live on that time.
Yes, definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the chairman of the Suez Canal Authority, Moheb Mamish, also said that the 6th of August won't be just the inauguration of the expansion of the new Suez Canal. It will also witness the fish farm production. Let's check out this report and we'll be right back.
The Suez Canal Authority will begin implementing the national project for fish farming in the canal zone. Suez Canal Authority Chairman Moheb Mamish said the authority has started establishing 460 fish farming ponds out of a total of 3,828 ponds. He added that the President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi ordered that the production of these farms should coincide with the opening of the new Suez Canal on 6 August. Mamish also noted that the Spanish companies are participating in the project with the fish imported from abroad, and that the project will depend on Egyptian experts. For his part, the Dean of the Fish Farming and Technology Institute at the Suez Canal University, Tariq Rashid Rahmi, said the project will have high productivity to cover the demand in Egypt. Rahmi added that the project is important as it provides a source of protein in light of the high prices of meat and chicken. He added that if the fish production is sufficient, it may lead to self-sufficiency and stop importation. He also noted that the fish farming can significantly aid in the development of the economy and can produce a multitude of species that are harvested in the ideal condition through the control of water temperature, salinity, and the pH levels, as well as the percentage of oxygen. Rahmi pointed out that the project will reduce transportation costs and the rate of fish spoilage, explaining that establishing the project in this region gives it advantages as it is close to the major ports of Suez, Port Said, and Dumyat. Additionally, the project is close to the local market to distribute fish in Greater Cairo and other governorates.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Continuing our conversation with our distinguished guest, Dr. Shazli. Now, obviously, there are a lot of potential projects related and attached to the expansion of the new Suez Canal. But what would you say are the most important of projects related to this mega project? Do you feel that it is actually the development of the industrial zones and the harbors and the ports around the canal? Do you feel that it's the projects that will actually affect other cities in Egypt, such as Ismailia, Port Said, and Suez as well?
Yes, it will be of multidimensional benefits, in the sense that You have industrial zones, you are serving industry development, industrial development. You have agricultural products, so agricultural development is in the picture as well. Natural resources like fish farm production, the sand in Sinai, and the silicon that you can export from it as processed natural resources instead of exporting it as a raw material. All of these activities, as you can see, is a mix of both industrial, agricultural, and services sectors. So it is of multi-dimension activity structure. This is very useful to the economy and fits well with the diversified base of the Egyptian economy. Egyptian economy is not only based on one or two commodities. For example, it's not dependent on oil exports, for instance, as in some countries, or in agricultural products only, or in raw materials only. It has a mixed economic structure. Both commodity sectors and services sectors are in the picture. They both play equally important role in the economy of Egypt. And so you can't say that it will only serve one sector in the economy, the projects that will take place around the Suez Canal area. It will serve different sectors of the economy. This is good for job creation and for reducing unemployment rates in the country that many were talking about, that there is not enough job creation to absorb the young population in Egypt. I think this is opening new opportunities to absorb the manpower in Egypt in useful and productive activities, mostly exportable activities, so that will reflect positively on the health of the balance of payments. It will reflect positively on the public finances in Egypt, and will be a symbol to the people here and to the whole world of what Egypt can do and can offer to the world economy in terms of economy and economic well-being and advancements of international trade and so on and so forth. So I think it's a very successful starting point for the government of Egypt after the political events that took place since 2011, and the government can build on it as a successful story for other mega projects.
Yes. Engineer Yunus, now, as you've pointed out earlier, such a project really demonstrates the will of the Egyptian people and the very important times that we're witnessing nowadays. Also, being a member of the Egyptian Industrial Federation, we understand you're starting a campaign that will promote the event of the inauguration of the expansion of the new Suez Canal. Can you tell us more about this campaign, and what do you expect it, or what would you hope for this campaign to achieve?
First, I went to Suez. I went to the to meet Mr. Mamish last week, and to spend one day with the workers in Suez Canal. And once I received a very good presentation from him, I just said to him, I'm coming next week with the check of 1 million Egyptian pounds just to meet the ceremony of the new Suez Canal. Second, all my colleagues, once they have heard that what we did at okay, what else we can do? Most of them now are trying. We are designing banners, outdoor material, everything they need. We are ready to do or give to Suez Canal Authority, because it's it's not only this pride, let me say it's a pride. It's not only a pride for the people working on the Suez Canal Authority, but it's also for the whole Egypt. For me, it's a big challenge because since 30 of June, we passed through a lot of climbs, and a lot of doubts have been heard from a lot of people that, okay, we are not going to do it. It's the new Suez Canal is going to destroy the other Suez Canal. So it's also when you achieved that point next week, it means that when our president say, we will do, he did. This is very, very, very important.
Well, do you expect that also will have an impact on the foreign investments here in Egypt when the foreign investors actually witness that this project is actually underway, and in 1 year they started the navigation of the container ships? Do you expect foreign investment to witness some sort of effect as a result?
Don't forget what happened during the economic forum in Sharm el-Sheikh. It gives a lot of impact on the attracting a lot of investors from all over the world, and they are now, I think a lot of people are thinking now what we are going to do in Egypt. It's let me say a good area. The only issue we need now is to amend the laws, and they already did, to achieve and receive all kind of investment. Most of the thing now to go to that area, because Suez Canal area, not only Ismailia, but from Al Sokhna, let me say, from south on Red Sea on to north to Port Said, there are a lot of prospective projects, a lot of prospective projects. So a lot of people now are thinking what we are going to do. And I think now there are a lot of studies on what are opportunities that either Egyptians or foreigners can do in that area.
Definitely. Dr. Shazli, one last question because we're running out of time. Now, you spoke of the projects and the development that is attached to this project in cities such as Suez and Bursaid and Ismailia, and also Sokhna, such as Engineer Yunus mentioned. Do you feel that because to embark on these projects, we need a lot of training? Now, do you feel, and you spoke about work and the workforce and the labor, do you feel that there will be a lot of training and preparation for the workforce to actually start working on these projects? Do you feel that this will really depend on Egyptian training, or should we expect foreign companies and institutions to actually train our employers here?
No, I think Egypt, the Egyptian government has taken care of this and announced already that there will be training centers around the country, and especially in this area, the Suez Canal area, for the type of services, type of activities that are expected, and the type of manpower needed for these projects. So you need vocational training. The government is aware of this and is going to implement it, I believe. Otherwise, it wouldn't do the hard stuff and come to the less demanding stuff and have weak performance on it. We don't expect this to happen. So we expect that to keep its strong performance on various grass mega projects, including training of manpower development.
Definitely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, definitely we would like to keep the momentum of the actual finalizing this project. We still have another second and a third process to witness, but we're also very happy that the first process is done, the first stage is done, and we're waiting for the inauguration on August 6th. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this edition of the Daily Debate. But before we go, I'd like to thank our very distinguished guest engineer, محمد Yunus, the member of the Egyptian Industries Federation. I'd also like to thank Dr. Alaa Shazli, the professor of economics at Cairo University. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for more coming up on Nile International. I'm Hani Saif. Thank you for joining us.